Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andy, that is Aidan, and we are back to pretend to know about football yet again. Just like Aston Villa's defence pretending to know what we're doing.
You make me feel sick.
Aidan, there's a little something different about this this layout today, mate. If you can just see below me, there's a little bit of a mystery box there. Shall we
Yeah, I know.
Shall we open it up and see what's inside?
Yeah, I reckon so.
What do you think's in there?
Don't know. I couldn't even tell you, mate. Something big and surprising.
Wow. It is big and surprising. It is Our first ever guest on the Pundits. It only took us 17 episodes to agree to get someone to do this madness with us. Regulars to the channel will know this person from the chat, you know. Always providing the facts, the stats. He's a self-proclaimed encyclopedic knowledge of football. He's here to show us how it's properly done. It is Mr. Sean. Welcome him in, everybody.
Here he is. Here he is.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the channel, mate. Do you want to start off by telling the people about your lovely self?
Yeah, my name's Sean. I'm an Arsenal fan. I've been an Arsenal fan since I was about 7 or 8. I moved schools and my mum and dad went into football. So there was a lad called Kane Hulse, a ginger fella, who said, if you don't support Arsenal, I'm going to pinch you. And as a 7 or 8-year-old, I was terrified. So, Kane, if you're watching, I'm still supporting. Please don't hurt me.
Well, it's all coming up good for you now, I suppose. I mean, I can vouch for Sean. I think I've known Sean for the best part of probably 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
So, and I know that he was an Arsenal fan, so he's not just come around for the glory recently. He's been through the pain. So
the pain.
We commend you for that, Sean. And here at the Pundits, I think we're rooting for an Arsenal win this year. Be nice to see someone different win it, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah, I'm fully rooting for Arsenal.
We don't talk about the title until it's done.
Yeah, and no, that's as good a rule as any. I think a recent form would suggest that's probably a good thing to do. It's I wouldn't say getting away from you because you've got games in hand, but you know it's a real test is coming up now for sure. Should we get into it then? Should we get into reviewing this week's Premier League while we're on the subject?
Yeah.
We'll start off in order. So early kickoff Saturday, we had West Ham versus Chelsea.
Yep.
Probably not the result that many people predicted. It finished 1-1. Sean, you're new here. Give us your thoughts on what you saw in the Chelsea game, what surprised you, and...
I think Chelsea just need a striker. They've got so many technical players that are fast with the ball, can really pass it out. And I mean, their best player is still Thiago Silva at like 48 or however old he is.
Yeah.
But the technical quality that they've got is phenomenal. And if they had Lukaku and didn't get rid of him, I think they'd be bang on. Are they 10th at the moment or something silly?
Yeah, 10th.
Yeah.
Or 10th or 9th, I believe.
I think they were 10th before the weekend fixtures started, so I don't see how they could have improved. But yeah, 10th sounds about.
They are 9th. They're 9th.
Oh, blimey!
Going up.
Slow down, Chelsea. Slow down.
They're 9th, and Liverpool are 10th.
Save some top 6 spots for the rest of us.
I know. Take a piss.
We do have to discuss later on a bit about VAR. We're just going to give our thoughts on what's next for VAR. In this game came one of the several, shall we say, VAR incidents of the weekend, with Souček proving how much work he's put in with the goalkeeper trainers this week. Did you see the handball, Aidan? What did you think?
No, I've not actually seen it.
You've not seen it? Well...
No, I've not seen it.
It was... I don't know how to explain it other than Souček literally was a pair of goalkeeping gloves away from being their best player in the game. He dived down. He went down to try and block the ball, and he stuck his arm out. And
so it's a blatant handball then.
It should have been, in my opinion, a penalty. I don't see how it could not have been a penalty. Personally, what do you think, Sean? As well, are you in agreement there?
He gave it a cheeky slap.
Yeah, I mean, this was. I'd say in the last couple of years, there's been this thing about what's a natural position for a defender to have their arms in, and this is where handballs are coming from. I don't see how, if you're supposed to have your hands behind your back to defend, then it's a definite handball. I think he was unlucky because if you're going to ground naturally, you're going to try and protect your back and your head from getting damaged when you fall. But in the rules of the game, to me, I think that's a clear penalty that wasn't given. So I think Chelsea are right to be annoyed about that, but
it was checked as well. It was checked with VAR.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it wasn't given. And I think
Mm.
The most annoying part about it is with every other VAR decision, if the referee had have decided it was a handball, then VAR wouldn't have overturned it.
Yeah.
So what's the point of VAR being there in that situation? I don't think it's excusable. I don't think Chelsea fans have the right to go around and go, oh, well, we were robbed. We were robbed. It's like, no, you were playing West Ham, who have been very, very poor. You should have scored more than once.
Yeah.
West Ham, though, a little bit of a resurgence. I mean, they beat Everton, which is not the biggest achievement, but picking up the points slowly is going to ease the gap down at the bottom because gaps are starting to form. And that's probably why Southampton sacked their manager this week after 14 games in charge. Nathan Jones has left Southampton. Who did you say was lining up to replace him?
Stevie G, Aiden's favourite.
Stevie G.
Rest in peace, Southampton. Rest in peace. They went straight into administration.
I don't think it was necessarily the worst choice to get rid of Nathan Jones because it's getting to the point now where, as I said, gaps are forming at the bottom. If you don't start picking up results now, Wolves are picking up results down there at the bottom. Everton picked up points last week. Forest, Leicester, they're all starting to get the points, and Bournemouth and Southampton are being left isolated at the bottom now. So it was now or never. I mean, to think that a month ago Nathan Jones was knocking Man City out of the EFL Cup, it's it's kind of gone full 180 for him. Southampton still to get relegated, do you think, Aidan, as we both predicted them to go down?
Absolutely, mate. There's nothing that's going to save them, mate. I think it's been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time coming. Same with Everton. I think they need to just face facts and go down now.
Yeah.
And just restart. But yeah, Southampton definitely. I think they'll be going down. Well, they're saying that if Everton win, when are Everton playing? Is it
tomorrow?
Are they playing tomorrow?
Yes, the Merseyside derby tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So if they win that game, they'll jump out the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So don't know. We'll have to see tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a stat with Nathan Jones that for his 9 Premier League games, only 11 Premier League managers have got more than 1 point at St Mary's, and he's not one of them.
Wow, what a stat.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
So what you're trying to say is he's updating his CV at home right now.
Shocking.
I probably wouldn't even bother.
Yeah, so I won't ask you if you think the sacking of Nathan Jones was justified then, Sean.
No.
Do you think that, can you see anyone coming in and turning Southampton around? I mean, we had a conversation earlier and you said out of the 3 teams in the relegation zone, you feel like they've got the best players.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got great striker. They've just signed from Genk. The wingers are good. James Ward-Prowse and Levy is a really good talent. I think they signed him and then Chelsea instantly offered him 50 million in the same window in summer. They've got good core players, but managers that just don't know what to do with it. I think if they were to get Pochettino, which is, I know it's a big ask because he's a great manager. He's just managed PSG, but he's managed Southampton. That would be the excellence. All the fans would love to have Pochettino back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any saving them at this point of the season.
Yeah, I think I joked about return of the Poch when I saw Nathan Jones had been sacked, but I don't think that's too bad of a choice. I mean, obviously he was there before Tottenham. He did well with them. He's out of a job. But the thing is with Poch, he was always linked to the Man United job, and I think he was always waiting in the wings. But it was a case of wrong place at the wrong time. When we went for Mourinho, he was settled, I think, at PSG at that point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then we went for Ollie. Oh no, it was Ollie. Sorry, that we went for, and he was at PSG. And then he wasn't around. He was taking a sabbatical when Rangnick came in as well. And I think Ten Hag was already being sort of eyed up. So he's not going to be waiting around for much longer, I'm sure. He's been out of management for long enough where Southampton might just be the perfect sort of confidence boost for him. I think, like you say, they've got the players. Could Poch get a tune out of them and keep him up? I don't see why not. If they get him in quick and they get, realistically, what could they get out of 5 games? 9-10 points. That wouldn't be too bad of a start.
Get them out of the trouble, wouldn't it?
Well,
Yeah, it depends on the fixtures, though, doesn't it? Who they got for the next 5 games.
well, as you know, we like to do our research on the fly. So if Aidan can bring up Southampton's next 3 games,
You know I'm already on it.
we'll stick in the relegation zone then. As you look up that, Bournemouth keeping Newcastle from getting points. I think that's going a little bit under the radar with Newcastle. Newcastle have been this team where they get up into the top 4. They're suddenly, 3rd or 4th for a few weeks on the trot, and people go, "Oh, look, they're doing miracles." But I think it's going under the radar. Sorry, that they're just constantly drawing games now. They're missing out on really good opportunities to get 3 points and secure that top 4 spot. I think with a final coming up against United at the end of the month, they're not fixture congested. They're only playing at the weekend, so they should be hammering out results, especially against the likes of, Bournemouth and who was it, West Ham last week. They got a draw against as well. So,
So, are you ready for Southampton's next 5 games?
yeah.
So they've got Chelsea away,
When is their next game? Sorry.
18th of February.
Okay, so they're not playing until the weekend. That's plenty of time to get a manager in. So you're starting with Chelsea.
So Chelsea away, then Leeds away, then they've got Grimsby in the cup at home, but that's whatever. Then they've got Leicester at home, Man United away, Brentford at home.
They're tough games. Tough games. Leeds away is very difficult.
Yeah.
Chelsea, they might get a result out of. New manager bounce, being the first game, and Chelsea being poor.
Maybe a point.
Yeah.
Can't see him getting 3. Maybe not 3, but I can see him scraping a point. Leeds will be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Leicester, I don't know, because Leicester seem to have hit some form now. Obviously, they've just won 2 in a row. Both high-scoring games, beating Villa 4-2 and Tottenham 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Man United away, not a chance with the form that United are in. Hate to say it. I
don't think it would be too far. I don't think it would be too far-fetched to say that they could win their first 2 Prem games. I think they'd have to catch Leeds on an off day, especially Leeds at home. That can't be. I love watching Leeds home games, especially when we play them, like today. Just the fans are just something else. Like, I feel almost a little bit intimidated just watching it on the TV. Like, their fans look mental.
Oh, they are. It is a crazy fan base, Leeds fans, to be fair to them.
But if you get someone like Pochettino, who, if he can get them tactically set up right, if he can just analyse Leeds quickly, you've got your new manager bounce against Chelsea, you've got your game against Leeds, and then you've got a game against Grimsby, which is just a throwaway. You can have a play around.
Yeah.
I think something could work for Southampton. I really do. But we'll keep an eye on them then and see what happens throughout the week. But yeah. Newcastle, Sean. What are your thoughts on Newcastle now that they're sort of dropping points?
They don't win as many games. I think that they're so focused on not losing that they're not really paying attention to winning games. They signed that Isaac last year. It's the summer, I think, or maybe even January last year. And they just don't seem to provide him with any service. They've dropped St. Maximin, who I thought was phenomenal, but doesn't seem to suit Eddie Howe's style of play. Of like those kind of hard-working grafters.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be there or thereabouts, but their title challenge, I think, is pretty much over. But they didn't really go for a title challenge.
No, I think there was a point where you think if Newcastle keep this up, they're in with a chance of top 4. Now, obviously, Spurs dropped points. I say dropped points, didn't pick up any points this weekend. But they're really their next rivals. Are you of the same opinion of me and Aidan? We spoke about it before that the top 3 are sort of locked in with United, City, and Arsenal.
Yeah, and I don't think Spurs are going to get European football.
So you would say that the top 4 spot is pretty much saved for Newcastle. It's theirs to lose.
Yeah, unless somebody goes on a mad run. But yeah, I'd say Newcastle are nailed on for that. See, if Brighton won their game this weekend, they'd be on for that.
Yeah, I think Brighton and Brentford and Fulham, I can't see them
Yeah,
carrying
Fulham,
it
yeah.
through all the way. I mean, Fulham obviously won again this weekend, but
Hmm.
I personally think that it's just between Newcastle and Tottenham. I don't think Newcastle have locked that down just yet. They need to start getting wins because
But,
go on.
no, sorry. No. Go on. Carry on, mate. I'll say after.
I was just going to say the same as the top end of the table as the bottom end. The gaps are forming, so you see how far ahead Man United are now in third. You've got no chance of getting to them, so it's completely up for grabs. Take away the Spurs result yesterday, they just started to pick up results. I think they'll do the same again. Conte might be focused more on the Champions League for them, but I can't see it.
Yeah. But then you say about like the gap, like you look at Man United, the gap between Man United and Newcastle, like I'm looking at it now, it's currently what, 5 points, and Newcastle have a game in hand, so one win, and they're only 2 points behind you. All it takes is one slip up, and then for Newcastle to get one win, that's it, it's turned around. Brighton are what, 4 points behind Tottenham, but they've got 2 games in hand behind Tottenham, 2 wins, which are Brighton in form. They can beat anyone. They've beaten all the top 6 this year. They could easily knock Tottenham out that top 5th spot. And then Brighton are looking for the challenge for top 4.
I think mathematically, yes, but I just think the likes of Brighton tend to fall off. Don't get me wrong, I'd absolutely love to see Brighton get like a 4th. Even Brighton to get European football of any kind would be great, but
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know, I just don't think they've got the quality. I mean, the game yesterday between them and Palace was probably one of the best games from the highlights I saw. They were creating chances. They was unlucky to have that goal ruled out. Again, another VAR controversy that they admitted was false. But yeah, talking of draws, then Palace Brighton 1-1. The VAR incident, which we'll talk about later, but just another mistake from the refs association saying that they fucked up. Not good.
No.
Leicester Tottenham, we did briefly speak about. Goal of the season contender for Mendy. Sean, what do you think?
Amazing goal. All of their goals were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they're against Spurs, although they were just that little bit better. But they were electric, proper electric, not Weghorst electric.
Yeah, I know they're not quite as clinical finishes of what Weghorst has been providing. You know what I mean? Like that poacher's instinct. But
sure.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Exactly as you say. All the goals were brilliant. I wouldn't take anything too seriously myself from this game, Aidan. What do you think? Do you think Leicester might see a bit of a revival now, or do you just think it's a one-off?
I don't really know. Like, I'm not sure. Like, they've won 2 on the bounce. Like I say, both high-scoring games, so it could be the start of their little turnaround. But will it continue to go throughout the whole of the rest of the season? No. I still think they're going to be in this relegation battle, but I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they need to worry. Basically, I think they're going to be fine. I can't see Leicester going down. I think they'll just do enough to probably stay up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they do, they need to have a serious look at investing in that squad, because I think they've bought in, 2 players in the summer and in January, if that.
I think
so.
It was one of them.
A lot of
Fayez guy.
Is it Fouet or whatever, the Liverpool top goal scorer?
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's about it. So I think, I don't know. It'd be nice to see Leicester, because obviously what they've achieved in the past, I think they deserve to be in this league now. I think they've earned that spot in the Premier League, but obviously sometimes it's not meant to be. But I think this year they'll be fine. But if they don't improve in the summer, then they're in deep trouble.
Yeah, it's like you say, Leicester was one of them teams, along with the likes of West Ham, who were round about the top 6, 7, getting European competitions. But they're both sort of down there now. They've been replaced.
Yeah.
By Brighton and Brentford. What else? Crazy Paulina says Weghorst electric. Yeah, absolutely. For anyone who doesn't know, right? I made a bet with Sean, and I said if Weghorst scores 10 goals, then Sean is never allowed to use that word ever again. But if he does,
how many is he on, Andy?
Still the one. Still the one. One more than Cody Gakpo, of course. He scored today. But it was offside. So just keep an eye. Goals are coming for Weghorst. I don't know which net he'll score them in, but goals are coming.
There's going to be a goal come through somewhere.
And what other games were there on Saturday? Fulham Forest again. I still haven't seen the highlights from that one. Fulham just continuing to knock wins out and try and keep themselves up there. You said Willian scored a good goal?
Oh, it was incredible because he's normally on the left-hand side and he's cutting across on his right. But so he's gone onto his left foot and it's just top postage stamp. It was an incredible goal.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a really tidy team there with Pereira, and they signed Leno for about 3 million, I think. And even then, they thought they were robbed. But he's a phenomenal goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Leno is class.
It's just shit from playing out from the back. That's all.
Yeah.
It's just in the wrong formation. But Forest, both of their central defenders went off in the first 7 minutes. They were both injured.
Oh, yeah,
so it really rocked them to begin with.
Jesus Christ, that's not good.
Yeah, in the reverse fixture of Leeds midweek, they had 2 injuries very early days as well, but they still did quite well for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Forest, then they need to make more signings then, do they?
Definitely should have signed more players.
I've got 2 injuries now. Going to have to get another 14 centre backs in.
Yeah,
because they signed Ayew on like an emergency signing.
Yeah.
How do you get an emergency signing when you sign 30 players?
Honestly, I can't understand that.
Yeah, and why Andre Ayew? That's got to be a confidence booster for him, right? Like, oh, I'm an emergency signing. I'm needed somewhere. It's like there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, you're not going to get much game time, mate. Don't get too excited.
It's shit.
No,
he is.
But it's okay. Forest are doing well for it. I know they did have to, when they got promoted the season before, they had a lot of players that were recalled on their loans and stuff like that. One of them, Jed Spence, I see he's sort of been tearing up League One now. He's on loan at, is it Rennes? Jed Spence? I don't follow much football. It's just from what I see on like.
He's on loan where?
Is it a French team, Jed Spence?
Oh, I thought you said League One, and then you said Rennes. I was like, what? Yeah, okay, now I get it now.
Yeah,
yeah.
And Ligue 1. Sorry, my French is not that great. But yeah, it surprised me because he went to Spurs because his parent club when he was at Forest was actually Middlesbrough. Spurs signed him and they sent him out because they were getting that Pedro Porro or whatever. I like Jed Spence. He looks like he's doing good.
Yeah, he's meant to be an up-and-coming little star, is Jed Spence.
I'd take him at United. I have to say, I think he'd be challenging either fullback.
Yeah, I'd do anything for a new left back.
He's a right back.
He's a right back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's a right back.
He's definitely...
I'll take him.
You take him.
I'll take him. We've only got one right back at Villa, so we'll definitely have him.
He's, let's see. Yeah, Rennes. I don't know how you say it. Rennes.
I think Levy signed him on transfer deadline day, didn't they? And Conte has been very public and said, he's not my signing. I didn't want him. Don't sign me players.
Oh, dear.
There's constant drama at Tottenham, isn't there? Like, it's just
love it.
Constant. I bet you do. It's just non-stop. Like, Daniel Levy just needs to leave that club and just sell it. Just sell it, mate, and let someone else restart it and who knows how to run a football club.
No.
All he's done is build a new stadium and kept on Harry Kane. That's the best thing he's done for him.
They've got NFL games there now, so something exciting does happen there from time to time.
Oh, yeah. Very rarely.
Other games today, we'll start with the early kickoff. The mighty United going to Ellen Road, getting our standard 3 points that we collect there every season. Leeds could be another one of them teams that drops down if they don't get sorted quite soon. One of the coaches there, Chris Armas, who was at Man United during the Ralph Rangnick era, they'll soon learn that they just need to get him the hell as far away from their football club as possible. Chris Armas famously had a interaction with Alex Ferguson when he met him at Man United. He said, I was the such and such director at this university in America. And Alex Ferguson says, you're going to need more than that, son. And I think he was right. Because there was one game, and I don't know how true this is, but he was taking advice from someone else in Russia. He was on a laptop in the dugout, and he was just getting some technical words of advice from someone watching the game in Russia.
No, surely not.
I'll have to stat check that, but yeah, that was why he was pretty much lauded by United fans, because what on earth even is that? Like, you're there, you're at the ground, you're a coach, you're watching the game. Why are you getting someone who's probably watching on a dodgy IPTV box in Russia giving you advice on the game? Yeah, move this defender.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too late, mate. They've scored like 5 minutes ago. But
what?
Yeah, Leeds, that's your new coach, mate. That is about your standard. He'll probably do you well at the Championship next year. Clowns.
Yeah. No, they're morons, aren't they?
But yeah,
they want to take Bielsa back, which would just be mad, because they were so close to going down with him last season. All the fans are calling for him to return.
They're obsessed with him, though, aren't they? This is what I mean. Leeds fans are so deluded. Like, they're happy to have him back when he almost, like, he literally, they was in relegation when he got sacked, and they're sat there going, "Bring Bielsa back." What do you mean, bring Bielsa back? That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll take Stevie G back tomorrow. Yeah, give us Stevie G back. Fuck off.
what are Bielsa's credentials?
No one.
The only thing I ever know about Bielsa was that Pep Guardiola once said he's a great manager. Is that credit enough to get you a job in the Premier League? Squatting by the touchline? Is that accreditation of some sort?
The only thing I've ever seen about him is that he managed some team in Argentina, and some ultras turned up at his house, and he opened the door with a grenade, saying he'll pull the pin if they don't leave.
There's also a really good story when he was at, I can't remember the Spanish club, at Real Santander or whatever it was, that Real Betis or something, that Pochettino played for, and Bielsa liked the look of him, so he's gone to his house at night and stroked his calves while he was sleeping. I'll post it in the group later, but he genuinely sounds a bit noncy, really. But...
He is such a weird chap.
It's like that scene from The Inbetweeners, isn't it? When they come back from swimming, oh, you got tired legs.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, get him back in. The strange guy.
Oh, let's not.
Yeah, please send that in. I'd love to see that. We can probably stick. Stick that out on Twitter or something as well.
Yeah, we just find that.
There was another game today, Super Sunday, after the United game, wasn't there, Aidan?
Yeah. Yes, there was.
Tell us about what you saw in that game before you turned it off.
What, in the first 45 minutes? Yeah, I just a shower of shit is what I saw. That is what I saw. I sat there, obviously the lineup got released, and I saw there was no Tyrone Mings, so instantly my heart dropped out my arse, because everyone knows how much I love Mingsy. And I thought, of all games where we've got big fucking Viking Haaland up front, Haaland, and our best centre-backs out injured the day before. So I was starting to panic, and then I saw Callum Chambers. And that is, he's just like, Arsenal did us a shithousery, didn't they, by giving us him? Arsenal are like laughing. Got a bit of money, and we've got that bastard on our fucking books now. First ball comes to him. All he's got to do is stay on his feet and just kick it away. He tries diving heading it, and he doesn't even get enough power on it for it to go out the 18-yard box. And Haaland just picks up and scores. We look slow, we look sloppy, we look like we couldn't be arsed. Douglas Luiz couldn't be arsed today. Bailey couldn't do shit all. The only positive is the second half, apparently, which I didn't see because I turned it off because I was fuming. Coutinho come on, and apparently he looks absolutely unreal and was dancing through people. John Duran, again, another positive one that's come on. Ollie Watkins scoring. He's finally finding some form and he's scoring goals now. Because I've seen a lot of Villa fans slagging him off this year, saying he's shit, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. But I think they tend to forget, like, the rest of the team's also shit. But it just seems to be Ollie Watkins getting it because the goals aren't coming. But now he is. All of a sudden, he's a fucking god again in Villa's eyes. So it's good to see that he's doing that. But I don't know. I didn't expect much from today's game. I'd have been happy with 1-0. If we lost 1-0, I'd have been happy. And if we put a performance in, like if we looked like we made an effort. But the fact that we just looked so poor and couldn't be arsed for the first 45 minutes to the point, like I'd never turn a Villa game off.
Mm-hmm.
But today we just looked like useless. Luca Dean, fucking sell him. He's our highest paid player in the club and he's fucking the worst in there. He's absolutely rambled. Get him gone. Get Marino on the pitch and fucking sort it out.
I'm surprised at that with Dean. You know, I thought he was always one of them players that was just going to be top. You know, especially when he played for Everton as well. He just looked so good.
Yeah, well, to be fair, when we first signed him, I thought, this is quite like a exciting signing. Obviously, I think we paid 20 million for him. I think it was 20 million. I thought, okay, this really good left back, plenty of experience. He's been at Barcelona, PSG, blah 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 blah. But then when he plays, like you guarantee he's going to give away a fucking penalty or a free kick in a dangerous area. He's going to constantly get booked every week. He gives away the ball a lot. His decision making is just woeful. Like he'll stand with the ball at his feet and he'll sit. He don't know whether to go inside, outside, run, pass, and by which time the wingers come up to him, took the ball, and he's on his arse.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas you look at that Marino, he gets the ball and he'll just fucking run and create something out of nothing. But Dean, mate, he's just robbing us blind. What is it? 180 grand a week he's on. You having me on?
That's a lot for Villa.
180 grand for Villa and a left back who's 30. Fuck off. Get out my fucking club, mate. You're robbing us blind, you useless fucking swat.
Well,
anyway, that's my thoughts on today's game. Yeah.
Well,
it's interesting you say that you've never turned a Villa game off, even during the Steven Gerrard era.
Even during the Steven Gerrard era, mate, I used to just sit there. I'd never turn it off. I'd have my phone here, and I'd be watching it, and all I'd do, turn a blind eye, focus on other things, and just hear it in the background, and just hope for hear like a little cheer of the Villa fans. They never came. The cheer never came.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at what Brentford done this year when they went to the Etihad. You know, managed to turn around a 1-0 deficit into a 2-1 win. That's going to be the long-term aim. I personally just look at Villa and I think as soon as you've got a big player out in any position, you're just so depleted. Like you said, Duran looks like he could step up should Ollie Watkins, need to come away for whatever reason. But your squad depth is, as an outsider, I've got no vested interest in Villa. That's scary to have. I mean, I'd like to think United are starting to improve their depth now, but even now, you look, we have two midfielders gone, and we're stuck. Really, we've got Casemiro out, Eriksen out. Sabitzer, I'll give him his credit. He looks okay since he's been playing, but then we've got either Fred or McTominay, and they both scare me.
Yeah, see, I think from when we've had Gerrard, mate, like the signings that were made under Gerrard, I think there's talks of our director of football, Johan Lang. I think his contract's getting terminated.
Wow.
Which is massive because he's behind most of our deals, him and Christian Perslow. But I just think with Unai here now, I think come summer, I think if we give him full control of transfers and we get a decent board director of football in to obviously work with him for the transfers, then we'll probably start looking more positive and we'll bring in the right players who will fit Unai's style. Whereas when we had Gerrard, we didn't really have a style.
Mm-hmm.
And he was too busy forcing players out instead of bringing them in. Like the whole shit with Tyrone Mings, when he forced him out for weeks. Freddie Gilbert didn't even include him in the 25-man squad for no reason. We didn't even have a right back. We really had Matty Cash. He dropped him to the under 21s. And then I think just from there, mate, we just haven't really built a squad again. Obviously, Diego Carlos was a big loss at centre back.
Mm-hmm.
First game of the season, signed him, gets injured for the whole season. But yeah, I think when we get him back, obviously we'll have a bit more depth in centre back and hopefully bring in a few more players. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're more than capable of getting these results against City. Like we gave them last game of the season last year. We gave them a right game, and then again we lose 3-2 in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Typical Villa. But that's the kind of shit we just need to cut out. And we've not beaten Man City at Etihad for 16 years.
Yeah, I have to say I'm happy that you did give them that 3-2 though, because otherwise I would have had to listen to unbearable Liverpool fans about winning the league again. So
Well, yeah, true, but
Tomato,
yeah,
tomato,
so
tomato. It's all the same.
yeah, that's just my views on today's game. It just fucking ruined me. 45 minutes of football has never kicked me in the balls so much in my life.
Well, it might not be completely wasted. You know, Man City having a little bit of trouble this week. And annoyingly, the story about Man City broke on Monday. So hopefully
Yeah,
they'll retrospectively remove their points. And then Villa
hopefully.
win by default. We'd love to see it.
Damn right. And we'll take them 3 points. We will take them 3 points. And it'll be well earned as well.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, get out from that cave you've been living in. It's Man City versus the Premier League, who this week
Yeah.
have brought, I think the number went up to 115 in the end, was it? Breaches of financial regulations, FFP.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got to battle 115 of these breaches against what the Premier League. Now, I don't think that the Premier League would bring these charges forward if they thought they had a chance of doing something with them. Normally, if your name's Man City, you get away with it, but from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like it. Sean, can you give any insight as to what you've heard this week and what you think is going to happen? We'll have a little look at the facts, and then we'll say what we would do if we were the jurors, if we were the executioners on this case.
So it was 113, and it was the accuracy of information was accounted for 50 of them. Assisting Premier League investigations was 30. Profit and sustainability was 25, and manager remuneration was 8.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
the assisting the Premier League investigations, you kind of go, okay, that's a bit of a slap on the wrist. You've not given us the information you want, but to find 50 accounts of inaccuracies in their financial stuff, it's a hell of a lot of things. I mean, commercially, the revenue of Manchester City cannot be anywhere near the levels of Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, even. So to say that they've got all this money in sponsorship and that they're going toe to toe in revenue with those clubs, something's wrong. It's as clear as day.
Yeah. It's essentially the inflating their commercial revenue was essentially them paying themselves. If you're not too familiar with how this all works, I mean, I claim to be no expert. I would say if anyone does want to hear any sort of real expert deep dive information on financial, there's a lad called Kieran Maguire, and he does a podcast or a Twitter page called The Price of Football. I was listening to some of that stuff this week, and he's a financial expert, right? But he'll be able to break it down for people like me to listen to. So if you want to hear more, go and check that person out. But yeah, it's like you say, it's not right. I think. What did you say the other one was? It was the 50.
The 50 was accuracy of financial information.
Yeah, accuracy of information. So that's half of them. If they are found guilty of more than half, I believe, that's when it could start to get serious. Aidan, what was your first thoughts about it? I mean, they've had the UEFA charges before, right? But the difference with this is whatever punishment is handed down, they cannot appeal.
Yeah, because they were able to appeal the last one, weren't they?
Yeah, so it was UEFA who brought the charges to them last time.
Yeah, but aren't UEFA getting involved in this one? Have I seen that right somewhere or heard that right?
I don't know whether they might give evidence, but there are massive, massive differences in this case, right? So they got banned last time from UEFA from their competitions for 2 years and handed a big fine. They appealed, no ban from European competition, and the fine was reduced.
Fucking ridiculous.
The other difference as well, what you might have heard from UEFA, is that when UEFA brought their charges forward in their case, there was is it a statute of limitations they call it? So they could only listen to evidence from a certain amount of time back. The Premier League handbook says that there's no statute of limitations on these charges, so they could go back however long they wanted to. And also, they do have another rule, which I don't know what it's called, but a lot of this information came from leaks, didn't it? Remember, their emails and stuff was hacked by that Portuguese guy. I Forgive me, I don't know his name. But the Premier League says evidence can come from anywhere, even if it's an unethical source. If it's relevant to the case, it will be listened to. So Man City can't claim, oh, we've had our emails hacked, this, that, and the other. You can't use this evidence. The Premier League are like, we can, and we will, Sunshine.
Yeah. Rightly so, though.
Absolutely.
Because this has to be dealt with, surely. Like, when it happened with the UEFA, everyone was already pissed off about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just taking it to a whole new level, like, of royally taking the piss out of every single, not even just English club, like, any club, any professional team now must be sat there thinking, what the fuck are Man City doing? Like, why are they getting away with it? Something big has to happen now to Man City, where every club now will go, right, okay, we know not to piss about, and that, they fucking deserve it. Give them a big point deduction, kick him out of the league, do whatever you need to do. Send Jack Grealish back to us if you have to. If you have to, Premier League, if you're listening, we will have him back only if you have to. We'll take Haaland as well on the side. But, no.
That's probably where the question started about their finances when they spent 100 million on Grealish, to be fair.
Yeah, they looked at that and went, fucking hell, seriously?
Yeah.
Like, you taking the piss?
Yeah. And
but no, I just think, yeah, something's got to happen. Like, they can't keep doing this shit. And the fact that there's apparently, it's 14 years worth of stuff they've got?
I think so. I think
Back 14 years.
It spans ever from essentially the Aguero season to, was it 18-19?
Yeah.
So we won't talk about the Aguero moment. That hurt me too much. But yeah, it's a really strange one. And like you say, it's been, what was it, a 4-year investigation, did they say?
Yeah, so it's not been an overnight thing at all.
Yeah.
This is a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. So this has been going on for a while then?
And I think it's fair to say that this is sort of separate from the fans. When anything bad happens to Man City, typically I don't feel bad for the fans. But in this case, there are some real fans of Man City out there. I think at least 13 or 14.
Yeah, 2 of them being the Gallagher brothers. That's about it.
You do have to feel for the proper fans of Man City who have they've enjoyed the success, but they're about to have it ripped from underneath them potentially, because it's not their fault that their club's playing dodgy fiddle, while they're enjoying everything. It's not. And
no.
So we'll keep our opinions as unbiased as possible. But what do you think the punishment handed down should be, Aidan?
At least a massive point deduction, minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, minimum. I'm talking 30 points, at least. If not, kick him out of the league. They ban him from transfers, 3 years. Like, I don't even know. Like, what would you consider enough? Because I think they should just go full ball on him, because they have taken the absolute royal piss out of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It has pissed me off.
I think
so.
Yeah, to coin a term that Sean used when we spoke earlier in the week, is I think that a punishment should fit the person, if that makes sense. So I think we can all agree that a fine shouldn't be even an option here. Like, when you're considering serious financial breaches, inflating their own revenue themselves with their unlimited money, what point would a fine be? Sean, what would you do? You're the executioner making the final decision on this. Before we've heard the evidence.
I'd go full in. I'd go. So my ideas are they should have a £40 million fine, and that goes against your profit and losses. So that impacts your transfer dealings that you can do and you can't do. So it has to count towards FFP. I'd strip their squad registration from 25 down to 20, so that they can't register too many players, so that they have to play youth players. Make them have 10 instead of 8 homegrown players. Strip them of their titles and cups within this period of time. So I think it goes up to 2018. Anything after 2018, they can have. I wouldn't necessarily reassign it. I think it gets a bit messy if you start, do you take points off of the teams to people finishing those positions. Because if you take the wins that Man City had out of the games, not necessarily runner-up would win the league.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't reassign them. I'd give them a 20-point deduction this season, a 15 next, and then a 10 the next season, because this is over a 10 or 12-year period. So giving them a point deduction this year is just it's just 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Make it impact them for 3 years. With all those other things, they have to heavily rely on youth players. It'll mess them up, and that's what they should have. It shouldn't just be a slap on the wrist. Away you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd ruin the club. You can't relegate them because you can't put them in the Championship because you're taking somebody else's spot. You can't put them in League 2 because again you're taking somebody else's spot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I love that wording. I'd ruin the club. I'm absolutely here for that. I love it.
Yeah. So big fan of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of ifs and buts to it. That's very complicated, but I like what you do there with the squad. I think reducing the squad registration down to 20, like you say, I think isn't it unlimited players from your youth academy that you can have anyway?
Yeah.
They've got to have played for the club for 2 years.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah,
So been at the club for 2 years, but anybody under 21.
Yeah, anyone coming through the Resis most likely has played at the club for 2 years anyway. Your main youth academy products. Yeah, I think a points deduction has to be the absolute bare minimum. We've seen it there was Derby twice. There was Reading. Juventus have just had from all of their previous misdemeanors. So I think that's all it's going to end up being. If I'm honest, I don't even know if that's allowed. Is it to change the squad registration for someone? I think as much as they deserve it, I don't think that would be ultimately fair if they still have to compete in the competitions.
They did it for them in Europe when because I think they had to leave out Yaya Toure one season because they weren't allowed to register as many players.
Right. Okay. What was that for?
Oh, I don't know. Probably some more financial doping or something. They didn't buy him a birthday cake, so they couldn't register him.
Yeah. I'll never forget that scandal. Oh, Yaya Toure's bloody birthday cake. No, I think, like I said, points deduction has to be minimum. I like going into next season as well, starting off with a points deduction. But if you give them if you give them a 15-point deduction now, they're still above Liverpool, they're still above Chelsea. They've not really had anything. I would kick them out the league. I think the titles and stuff, handing the titles back, what victory is that going to be? If you strip their titles from these periods, Liverpool gain 3 titles, United gain 3 titles. You can't celebrate them. They're just going to be an asterisked record in the history books because the better team did win it. But the only reason the better team won it is because they were built upon year's growth that should never have existed.
Of lies.
So
years of lies.
Yeah, the only reason they're in their position is because concurrently they're getting bigger and stronger when they should never be.
No, exactly.
So honestly, a 15-point deduction is, I think, what's going to be. But that's not enough. That is nowhere near enough.
No, it's not.
For me, they'd be kicked from the league minimum. I'd have top 3 of the Championship automatically promoted next year, and then 4th to 8th in the playoffs for the extra spot. Or maybe just 2 relegation spots in the Prem to make it easier.
Just ban them from playing football for a year. That'll really fucking ruin them.
Yeah.
No income, nothing.
I'd be interested to know how it works in the league structure. I imagine if they was to be kicked out of the Prem, would that mean having to restart again at the bottom of the League 2? Or
I think Rangers, when they got kicked out, they did get kicked out. They had to start a new club again, didn't they? They went right to the very bottom of the football pyramid in Scotland, didn't they?
Yeah. So surely that'd be the case.
But there wouldn't be an administration, would they? I think, or would they? I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
A fine. Yeah, if they're going to fine them, make the fine big enough where it bankrupts the club.
Yeah, I mean that'd have to be massive.
Bring your money over to the proper side of Manchester. We'll take you.
Look at you, yeah. We'll have your corruption.
Yeah, now that
We'll have that.
you've gone to that little small club on the other side of the city, you've made your mistakes. Now learn from your mistakes. And the thing is, with Man United, people really don't understand how much we pay in debts because of our owners. Like, we'd hardly even need their investment. That's the funny thing. Our commercial revenue is already so big.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need to start fudging the books to get their money. The money's there and available. It's just the Glazers take it or pay off interest on their loans. So, yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I think it's fair to say that it's going to be a long, long time before anything even happens. I'm sure Man City have got the best lawyers available. And hopefully Pep Guardiola will see the wood for the trees and get himself out of there and keep true to his word like he said he was going to.
I think he will. I think he'll leave.
Moving on, so a league that Man City may well find themselves competing in if the Premier League do kick them out, the European Super League. It's reared its head for the third time. I think people are just sort of laughing at it now.
Yeah.
I don't even really know where to start with this European Super League thing, because I thought it died a death when the fans protested against it. You've obviously got clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, big names of days gone, want a part of this because they know it's going to be a big money spinner for them.
Yeah.
Can you see, Aidan, in any, take off your Villa hat, can you see in any way, shape or form a European Super League appealing to you, or
No, it can't be, can it? Because what they're saying is that no one gets relegated, no one gets whatever into that league. You don't get promoted into it, you don't get relegated out of it. It's just that set league. You finish where you finish, and they'll make all their money. Then however many clubs they've got in there. What was there, like 8 clubs or whatever it was?
Yeah, but
how is that appealing to them? What happens to the European football that we're all pushing for in England and like the French teams and everyone else? Everyone's fighting for that European spot. Everyone wants to be playing European football. But then why would you want to go play European football and then not come up against the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid or... Do you know what I mean? Like, it takes the whole excitement of it away. Oh, yeah, we won the Champions League. Oh, who against? Spartak Moscow. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
The Champions League will die out and it will just be English football and this shit little league with a couple of teams in there who would just have all this money and power. And that's it. It'll just ruin football completely. There'll be no excitement to it anymore. Yeah, it's not for me. I think it's a fucking stupid idea.
I think they've reformatted it now so that you can not necessarily get relegated and promoted as such, but moved around. Because it's 80 teams in 4 leagues in this new proposal. Mate, it's just a mess, honestly.
God.
Exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be big games. It's going to be Man United versus Real Madrid. Not in Manchester, not in Madrid. It's going to be in Dubai on a rooftop helipad or something. And in American football stadiums as well. It's just, for me, it's just all distasteful. It's not. I don't want to hear any more about it, if I'm honest.
No, it is purely ruining the sport.
Sean, can you offer up any insight? What did you actually? Because Arsenal was one of the first teams to actually come out and protest it and get some word from their owners the first time it came about. I think they got an apology quite quickly and quite successfully.
Yeah.
So
it's unsportsmanlike, isn't it, to have a divisional competition that's kind of ring fenced that nobody can join. What the new one is, this divisional relegation and promotion thing, still ring fenced to the teams that want to buy into it. But when there's 80 teams, who's going to sign up to watch? I don't know, CF Cludge versus SC Guyon or whatever it is. Nobody's going to want to do it. So all the money's just going to go to the big teams anyway. And it's those big teams that are suffering financially that's why they want to have this league, isn't it? Barcelona are hemorrhaging money Real Madrid, Juventus. It's all about a money grab, and if they're better with their finances, then they'll sort themselves out. But this isn't the answer.
No, I fully agree.
Great.
I think it's
Yeah.
you look at like I say, Barcelona are just if Barcelona are first in the list because obviously with the forever going on Frankie de Jong rumours last summer, I was up to speed with what was going on with their finances at Barcelona. And essentially what they've done is sold, I think they sold 45% of their TV revenue for the next 25 years. They've sold 50% or just under of, they have like a TV channel in Spain. You know, like Man United have MUTV. They've sold half of that for the next 25 years. So anything that they couldn't nail down is sold or 50% owned by someone else. And they're 900 million in debt. So any team in a similar position is just going to jump at it. But the Premier League, I think, fortunately enough, just laughed it off and said, this is a joke. Surely you can't be serious. And like I say, the only team I can see going for it or wanting to go for it is Man City.
Yeah.
If should these punishments be handed down, I think.
Yeah.
Can you not? Do you want it or not? But can either of you see a European Super League actually taking off and happening?
No,
No.
not unless it's like a competition specifically for the champions of the competitions, the leagues across Europe, and having purely like the proper Champions Leagues. Because they used to do the Cup Winners' Cup, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But having like a Cup Winners League of some sort. I think that's the only way that they can do something, and even then, it's got to be. It can't clash with the domestic seasons.
No, yeah, so it'd have to be a summer.
Yeah.
Do the summer.
It's almost like they're trying to bring forward a legal way to do what Man City are being charged with. Like, just pump money into clubs. But because it's part of this Super League, it's fine. We can do it.
Yeah.
And exactly as you said, Sean, you know, you're going to get these teams in like Red Star Belgrade, all these former greats of Europe who are still not going to have any eyes on them and are not going to get a good share of the money. So, yeah, I think they just need to give up on it now. I think Barcelona just need to admit they're going to go bankrupt. These business magnates, if that's what they want to call themselves, who are owning these clubs and pushing for it, just need to just fuck off. There's no other words for it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is, Real Madrid, I don't understand, and Barcelona, they still do crazy business. How is this even possible? Like, there's something dodgy going on somewhere. You can't be that desperate for money, but you can still shell out money for, you know, who did Barcelona get this year? Rafinha, Lewandowski.
Yeah. Ferran Torres from Man City in January.
Yeah.
Well, last January. Yeah, they've still spent stupid money. You know what I mean? Christensen from Chelsea, like all these deals. It was Koundé from Sevilla.
That's right.
Centre back.
Yeah, that's it.
They're just like they're spending this money, but also going, we're so poor.
It's like that equivalent to your mate who owes you 50 quid, and he says, "I ain't got no money," but then you see him in the pub when you go out. That's Barcelona, isn't it? Like, oh, sorry, banks, we can't pay you back. Who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Lewandowski. He's been here ages, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got Lewandowski and Aubameyang up front now. Oh, have you? Weird.
Yeah.
Like the homeless walking out in Gucci mink, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, Barcelona. Yeah. I'll be cool with Barcelona as long as they, you know, give us Frankie in the summer like they said they was going to. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Barcelona, actually, we're playing them next week.
You are.
And I forgot about that, and we was meant to be predicting this week, but who we thought was going to win the fucking Champions League games. Oh no! What we'll have to do instead, Aidan, is get our predictions up in the Discord now.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, get in the description of this video, find the Discord link, and click it and join, and come and have a chat with us there, because we're in there a lot of the time. Me and Sean are.
Yeah,
Aiden
I'm
pops
shit with
in
this
when
squad.
Aston Villa win, which isn't very often.
Yeah, so I'm not in there very often. Pretty shit with this squad.
But yeah, come and be an early member of the community. Come and have a chat in there, have some fun in there. Yeah, we've got a bit for predictions. So if you got an FPL team, post your team up for the week. Who did you have in your FPL this week, Sean? Anyone good?
I don't do that. I just get very sad when
No.
no, because I can't buy the players I want, and then by about August I forget to update it.
I had a bit of a mare this week. I captained Rashford instead of Haaland last week because he had a double game week. It turned out to be a great decision. But I backed Haaland again, didn't I? Like an idiot.
Yeah, I think I had Holland as well, to be fair, and I'm a Villa fan, so...
He's still got Arsenal to play in this game week, though. So hopefully...
Injured.
Oh, he's injured.
Is he?
Yeah, he got injured today.
Done his half, I think, or thigh.
What?
I thought it was his face. I thought he was with that collision.
He's always looked like that.
I thought he had a collision with Martinez because he come down and he was holding his jaw, and apparently he was all uncomfortable. It could be his leg though. One of us are wrong. One of us are wrong, or we both are.
Reassuring that Haaland is actually human, then, which is news to me.
Yeah, but let's be honest, he probably is going to be playing against Arsenal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know whether they'll take precautions, like you say, with the Champions League coming up now.
Oh yeah, they want that Champions League, don't they?
Alvarez,
especially
is
now
a
they're
good
going
enough
to get.
replacement.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's phenomenal.
He's unreal little talent he is.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I probably should have put this segment a little bit earlier on, when we was talking about it. But fuck European Super League. The next thing we want to talk about is something else we hate in football at the minute: VAR. There used to be a stage where you could talk about VAR, right? And just take me back to when we beat Man City, right? We got that goal that was not given as an offside because Rashford was in that position. Akanji would have got there, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns into a case of, oh, but don't you remember VAR gave this in your favour? And don't you remember you got this in your favour? And I think for every certain scenario in football now, you can recall when VAR has worked in your favour and when VAR has gone against you, and more than once as well for both occasions. VAR for me isn't going anywhere because you have no difference. You know, you take away VAR, we've still got all the cameras in the ground, all the angles that we'll be able to see, all the slow-mos will be on Twitter. So VAR has to stay. But what has to change? It has to be referees, right? That's the only thing that's left to do. Referees need to improve dramatically.
They need to be more accountable, I think, because when they make these terrible decisions, then the VAR refs make terrible decisions, and they just kind of brush it off. And those are 3 massive points for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start fining the PGMOL every time they make a terrible decision, they'll soon start making good decisions. It looks like spot fixing and match fixing when you cite human error for not seeing a VAR or a handball.
You're right.
Yeah. It's just consistency is a big thing. They just need to be consistent with it. Like, you look at all the other leagues. I think, is it the Italian league? They've actually got it nailed down to a T. And like the Australian league.
But they have had it for a long time, to be fair.
But still, why could we not just go... If they've had it that long, why could we not just take what they've got and go, yeah, we'll do that here?
Yeah, I think, is it just a case of it getting bedded in for longer, or are we just hoping it's going to get to that?
Oh, no, I mean, sure. Like, how long's it been? How long's VAR been in now? 5 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it's in its 6th season now.
In that amount of time, if we've not got VAR nailed down, if the referees can't figure out how to look at a monitor and speak to someone in a fucking office going, right, what's this? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's that. All right, yeah, Sam, I'll do this then. If we can't figure that out, there is no hope for VAR, because they should have that nailed down in 5 years.
I think...
Surely to God.
Hasn't Howard Webb recently, headed the group?
Yeah.
So he should be the one there that's making changes. Let's give him a chance, fair enough, but For me, another thing that makes VAR laughable is I can't remember if it's the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, or both, but VAR only applies to games where Premier League ground is at home, where it's a home game at a Premier League stadium. That just makes it instantly a joke. It's just not, for me, that's not fair. Like, you can't have one rule for one and one for the other.
No, but that's what I'm saying about consistency. There's just no fucking consistency in it.
Sorry, I was just laughing at Aiden decorating his mustache that he'd like right
Yeah,
through
I've
his
seen
camera.
that.
Oh, was
I
it?
think he forgot.
Yes,
He forgot that
I forgot,
we
yeah.
were streaming. I think we were just like three lads having a conversation.
I was looking at it and the thing, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And I was just like doing that. Sorry, guys.
Dastardly.
We s-
I was like, "What's he fucking laughing at?"
Be sure to follow Aiden's new channel. It's Mustache Tips 101.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that beauty.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Stop it.
Oh wow.
You
But
know.
yeah, what would you like to see changed when it comes to referee, Sean? Would you like to see them VAR being used less or more, or
I'd like them to be mic'd up, because if you can hear them
Mm.
justify the decisions that they're giving, then you can kind of understand.
spot
Like
on?
if you're hearing the like, let's take the Rashford offside, which was offside. Let's be honest. Then if you can hear them say the reason why I'm not giving this as offside is because it's not interfered with play, then there's no dispute on Twitter about it. You're not seeing loads of people going, "Oh, it's offside because he's not touched the ball. He's not offside because he's not in the goalkeeper's line of sight." You can hear the referees justifying it,
Mhm.
and maybe
Yeah.
there's a rule that we don't know about that they will know about the reason why they've given it,
Yeah,
and then fine them.
I think you're absolutely spot on there. What tends to happen with these incidents now is the game will be done and dusted by 3:00 in the afternoon, and then PGMOL will issue a statement at 8:00. It's like, well, you've just had 5 hours to get your PR team to spin out a statement about what went wrong. So having them mic'd up would absolutely dissolve that issue in an instant. I kind of like the debate, but what you said about the rules, like, there always seems to be that when there's a controversy, there always seems to be a rule that I don't know about, and they always sound so ridiculous. Like, there was when we got knocked out to Middlesbrough in the cup, there was one of the most obvious handballs you will ever see in your life. This was last season. One of the most obvious handballs you've ever seen, but he didn't score the goal. I think he passed it, but because he wasn't the goal scorer, his handball wasn't worthy of ruling out the goal. But if he had handballed it and then scored, because the handball directly helped the scorer, like why Rashford's goal got disallowed a couple of weeks ago, there just seems to be a new stupid little tweak to a rule every single time. And like you say, if you can hear that conversation, they do it in rugby, don't they? They might get the ref. Why can't we have that?
They have mic'd up a few refs in the Australian league, in the football.
And you hear
And
the
you
conversations between them.
Yeah,
They're so
you hear everything.
respectable. Like,
And they're justifying everything.
what do you think
And
they're
they
worried
explain
about
to the
would
players
happen?
and everything why. What's that, sorry?
What do you think they're worried about would happen if they did it here? Like, obviously, there's probably going to be swearing, but
I don't know.
refs don't swear, do they?
Well, I don't know. Depends where they cover their mouth and that.
You'll have
So,
Lee Mason going, I've triple captain Ivan Toney this weekend. You know,
yeah.
gotta let it go,
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, to be totally honest with you. I think if you might have the players coming up, they might have a word or two to say, but I don't know. There's a dead zone with mics. You know, you can afford the highest tech ones.
Yeah. Mute your mic for a second while they're talking. They go, "Boop, right, listen, cunt, this is why I've done it."
Yeah. Well, hopefully he doesn't say that.
Well, yeah, but do you know what I mean?
But even if Stockley Park, or is it Stokely or Stockley Park where VAR is, even if they're mic'd up, that's a start.
Yeah. It just helps that little bit more. I suppose, like Sean said, just reassures everyone, and then it stops all this bickering, and at least then we know why the decision's being made.
Yeah.
Because half the time we're all sat there going, like that Rashford one, I was sat there thinking, how the fuck and why has that been given? Like, why is that not offside?
Mhm.
Because it is blatantly offside, and no one knows why it's been given. We all sit there and go, well, he's interfered in play. He has. He stopped the defender coming to the ball. Edison doesn't know who's hitting it. Like, blah 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 blah. If the referee comes out and we can hear him going, right, listen, lads, we've given the goal. This is why. Because he's not actually done this. He's not done this wrong. This has happened. Everyone can sit there and go, oh, fucking hell, right. Oh yeah, fair enough. At least we know now. It's shit, but
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just it's something they need to look at doing. They're doing it everywhere, so why not do it here? In the biggest sport in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Come on, make it happen. FA, whoever. Fuck
I
me.
couldn't agree more, and I think there's a few things I like about it, but there's equally as many things I don't like. It's also strange how it operates differently with UEFA in like the Champions League and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, consistency. I think that's always going to be a thing that needs to be said about VAR. It probably
Yeah.
never will be, but I don't know. It's got to stay, I think. But you can't have a Premier League weekend where there's 3 massive incidents like we had. Them coming out and admitting their faults on 2.
Yeah.
That's not 1 is far too many. 2 is far too many, I think, for a season.
Yeah.
Never mind a weekend.
Like I say, considering how long we've had it as well, like it's just fucking mental. 2 in 1 weekend, like come on.
And I think
It's embarrassing.
What did you say, Sean? The reasons were for one of them? It was the Palace one.
Ah,
They were both terrible,
well,
don't get me wrong, but one of them was just ridiculous.
the Palace one was that they used the wrong player to draw the lines from, and the Arsenal one they didn't even have the line guy. I don't know what the line guy was doing. Probably in the lose doing lines.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You know,
So the lines you see for offside, essentially, one was off the wrong player, and one was they just weren't lines. So it was just like squint your eyes a bit, and I should be able to see.
That's for me. It's just fucking embarrassing, isn't it? At this point, it is just absolutely embarrassing.
It's laughable. You're right, and that one where they used the wrong player reminds me of that thing. Who was it at Arsenal that got sent off when it should have been someone else? Was it like Oxlade-Chamberlain or something like that?
Oh yeah,
was
it Gibbs that got sent off?
Gibbs got sent off. Yeah, I remember that.
That's funny. That is funny. Right, I think that just about covers us for today. I'm glad I didn't include the Champions League predictions and stuff because it would have seen us go way over our usual time.
Yeah, it really would.
But we'll try and get some predictions knocked up either for Twitter or Discord or maybe both. Who knows? We'll see what time we get. But as we are pretending to be pundits, so we'll do our best. We'll try and get some more stuff out for the Champions League and so on. Neither of me or Sean have a vested interest in that competition at the moment. Next year, maybe. But let's get some quick fire predictions out now while we can. Why not? Who's going to win the Champions League? I've already said I've got a clip of me on my Twitch stream saying who I think is going to win the Champions League. Aidan, who do you say is going to win it? Quick fire.
Man City.
Sean?
I'm City as well. I reckon City will win it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got to be there. Yeah, it's got to be.
And then just to get it stripped away from them next year. I said PSG. I said I think PSG keep bottling it so hard. I think they've just got to win it at one point, and I think the Messi is in absolutely phenomenal form. He's scoring goals for PSG. He's won a World Cup. He's on a high. Mbappe is always good for the big games. I can see him doing it. Europa League.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't know. I'd like to say Man United, just because of their form.
Me too, to be fair.
I just see Sean's face. Yeah, no, I've got a thing. It was like if United keep on with this form, I'd say United could probably push and do it.
Sean?
Got back my boys. Arsenal going to win it. We're not going to bottle it this time.
Oh shit! I forgot Arsenal are in there as well, aren't they?
That's right, Aiden.
Oh,
I was going to say,
that
why else
changes
did you think Sean's face
everything.
winced when you said it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. I still don't know now. Okay. Oh, fucking hell.
Are Juventus in it?
Juventus have got to play off. I think Atletico Madrid are in it as well, aren't they?
Are
Yeah.
AC Milan Champions League or Europa League? The Champions League, aren't they?
Yeah. They've got Chelsea, am I
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'll just say Barcelona for now. So keep you both happy.
Barcelona ain't even going to win their playoff, mate. I'm not being funny.
Oh, God.
Well, they've got
Golly God.
this is a new thing as well, I think, isn't it? Of late that they've got to do a playoff as opposed to being just straight into it. Ever since they added that shitty Conference League, it's just been so all the permutations of getting into these. Just get them in the bin. Just have Europa League and Champions League, right?
Yeah.
For me, I think because Atletico Madrid are in it, I would say honestly Atletico Madrid. I think Arsenal are probably going to try and rotate their team in the Europa League. I think they're just going to be driven on the league. I think Man United just if they, I tell you what, if Man United win the Carabao Cup, I don't think they're going to be bothered about the Europa League. Honestly, I think they're just relying on top four. Because why would you burn yourself out playing Thursday, Sundays for a Champions League spot which you've already got?
Got to win the treble.
That's it. It's Ten Hag, mate. Ten Hag's going to want it. Imagine first season in charge. After the shower of shit years that United have had, and then he comes in, he'll have a treble. Have some of that.
Yeah, but I just don't think we can. I don't think we can compete on all fronts. We have depth, but our depth isn't good enough.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
We especially in the most important part of the pitch, scoring goals. We've got Martial, who's just permanently keeping the medical team in jobs at the moment. We've got Weghorst, who does more defensive work than attacking work, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's our two strikers.
That's what I mean.
Play Garnacho down there. The future's bright. The future's Garnacho.
Not down the middle,
Love
though.
that.
Not down the middle. If he wants, I think moving forward, if we start to play some sort of false nine, maybe. But the way we set out now, we just need an out-and-out striker or two to be competitive.
I'd put Rashford up front. 100%.
He's not.
Stick him up. What are you going to say? Go on. I want you to say
He's better coming in off the left. It's a fact.
Stop.
It's a fact.
Oh, well, slap my arse and call me fucking Suzanne. I've not heard anything like this in a long time. Rashford can play anywhere across that forward three. I could put money on that. You play him up front, mate. Imagine, right, counter-attacking. You've got Anthony, Rashford and Garnacho or Sancho.
Yeah, Sancho off the right, Rashford off the left, and someone down the middle. I swear to God, we've played Rashford down the middle enough times, and his numbers are just nowhere near as good as they are from the left. It's a fact.
But I'm saying, who would you rather have up front right now, Rashford or fucking Weghorst?
He's electric, mate. He wants Weghorst. He knows it.
Oh, right now, yeah, no, I'm talking about next season.
Oh right, well next season, but then okay. So who do you drop next season?
Well, Martial just needs to be gone because he's never available. Weghorst is only on loan. Don't extend that.
I mean, on your wings, who do you drop? You've got Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony. Which two are you dropping out of them for?
You starting off. It's Ten Hag, isn't it? He's backing his boy Anthony at the minute, but I'd bring Sancho back in. I think that should be the long term. Rashford and Sancho either side, and then the new big shiny number 9 down the middle.
Yeah, a loan from fucking Cardiff City, probably.
Mate, honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it right now. Honestly,
I bet you would.
We've got no one.
As long as you're small and quick.
We need 2 strikers in the summer, and I think maybe a midfielder. I'd say Frankie de Jong. It's going to be Harry Kane, isn't it? I mean, it's not the worst, but it's...
Igalo on loan again.
Hey,
oh yeah,
Igalo is a cult hero, I'll have you know.
To be fair to him, mate, he stepped up.
He played for the
Yeah.
shirt. Did you see that volley against
Yeah.
Las Linz in the Europa League?
He scored a fair few goals in
Hey.
the short time he was there.
He was electric.
He was
He
electric.
was.
He was.
Who would have thought it would be the best deadline day signing ever, right?
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man United and
Yes,
strikers just don't go.
No, they don't.
Anything else before we go? Then we've got our predictions, kinda, for the Champions League. I'm buzzing. The Champions League is the only thing I will always watch, even if my team's not in it, because
Yeah.
the theme
100%.
music, the big games. I think, gents, if you're not doing anything with your ladies on the 14th, it's
I don't have one, so I'll be fine.
it's PSG.
I'm standing alone.
It's PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
So, what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be going out to a restaurant, having a nice meal, or are you going to be watching PSG versus Munich? What would you rather be doing?
I mean, I know what I'll be doing.
Terry's at work. I can do it if you want it.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh, wait, what? Are you two having a Valentine's together of some sort?
We was going to include you, but then we thought,
Yeah, three's a crowd.
yeah, it's a bit too much.
On that note, I'm going to go and prepare my pot noodle and a wank for Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Radio gents. Thank you very much, Sean. Again, massively
thank
appreciate you coming on. We're probably going to invite you back again. I don't know. We'll have to have a talk about it, Aid, and see how it goes. But
yeah, we'll see.
If you want to see Sean back on the channel, give the video a like because it does help us massively. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Even if you don't want to see Sean back, give the video a like and sub. Either way, help support the growth of this channel. We appreciate everyone who comes to watch these streams massively. And we'll see you next Sunday, 9 p.m. again, I think.
Yeah, 9 p.m, mate, yeah.
9 p.m. again. Again, guys, thank you very much. Everyone who came to watch again, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Take it easy, guys.
See ya.